A pair of superstars with bark and bite. The quarterfinal round begins with a dog day afternoon in Long Island.
Go out there and play Denver Lacrosse, all right? Let's come back in here, moving on to the next round. All right, let's go.
In the blink of an eye, Denver with a response, and we're tied up at 7. French to Jackson with the strike. Great pass, and it's Jackson Morrill again.
The monkey is off their back. They're able to advance.
Let's go. Come on.
Opportunity down low. Look at the muscle, the Hogan and the Cook. The Dane train rolls on.
We have lightning on and off. He can go, or a Fiche.
Wow! Does it again!
Stir the echoes of 1990.
The quarterfinals begin in the NCAA Lacrosse Championships. We start with Yale and Loyola, a rematch of the 1990 semifinals. The winner of that game will take on Albany and Denver. The other 4 teams will play tomorrow in Annapolis. And with that, good afternoon on a rain-soaked Saturday afternoon on the campus of Hofstra University in Hempstead, New York. Anish Shroff alongside Quint Kesnick. It's pretty simple. You want to be remembered? Win today.
This is Separation Saturday. You win, you advance to the big stage, national TV coverage, all the accolades. Historically, you put your place, you cement your legacy. Losers, though, nobody ever remembers the quarterfinal losers.
The 2 teams we're about to see, Loyola and Yale, both have 2 players that will be remembered for a long time. Transcendent offensive superstars.
Yeah, and both are Tewaaraton finalists. Let's start with Loyola's Pat Spencer. In my eyes, he's the most complete offensive player in the country. He can do a little bit of everything. Great change of direction. He's creative and makes plays on the fly. His vision is uncanny. And his leadership now in his junior season has stepped up, surrounded by a pair of freshmen. Yale's offense revolves around Ben Reeves. He's the definition of a student athlete. Molecular and cellular biology major. He'll be a doctor and try to find a cure for cancer. As of right now, straight line speed like you dream about having, an outside shot that nobody can seem to save, and a will and a determination to try to get this Bulldog team to championship weekend.
2 of the best offensive talents in the country, but it's Long Island. And everybody's got a guy. Our guy down on the field, Paul Carcaterra, who's got 2 guys of his own.
You ain't kidding. You guys can talk about the alpha male offensive players all day long. Let me introduce 2 erasers, lockdown defenders. Let's start with Loyola's Foster Huggins. He's an absolute ball hawk defender who takes it away from offensive players better than anyone. His 51 caused turnovers are more than twice as much as any defender playing in the quarterfinals. He's 5'10" from Texas, so don't say he can't play. And then there's Yale's Chris Fake, who's a freshman, but plays like a senior who wants to eat raw meat. Physically, he can punish you. This one-on-one matchup on both ends will be off the charts.
We are ready for the opening face-off of the quarterfinal round. Mike Orafice for Loyola, Connor Mackey for Yale. And Mackey wins the opening draw, accelerates into the box, and Yale has the opening possession. The Bulldogs steamrolled through the Ivy League until losing in the tournament final against Cornell. They bounced back with a win against UMass in round 1. And Andy Shea looking to get this team to championship weekend for the first time since 1990. Offensively, Quint told you about Ben Reeves. This is John Danigelis, part of the first midfield. Danigelis over to Jackson Morrill on the doorstep to Ben Reeves, and Yale wins the opening draw, scores on its first possession.
Greyhound defense talking it over. An absolute blown assignment off the bus. not symbolic of a Loyola defense that's been quite good this season. You'll see the faulty double team right there. Huggins helps out Ryder Harkins. There's no help on the backside. They slide to his eyes, and an easy layup on the weak side.
What I like about that, Quinn, is they put Reeves inside. Normally a perimeter guy, put him inside, make that Loyola defense think.
Ben Reeves, Yale's all-time leader in goals, assists, and points. Wants to go to med school once he's done playing college lacrosse. We get a loose ball hold on Loyola, so Yale gets it back. Loyola head coach Charlie Toomey told us faceoffs would be critical because Loyola gets so much of its transition offense off of faceoff wins. This is a Yale team that had a Division I high 6 Major League Lacrosse draft picks, including Ben Reeves, the 4th overall pick. Here is Jason Alessi, also plays on the Yale football team. Over to Morrill, who had 7 goals in round 1. He's got the defense hung up. Morrill against Matt Higgins. And that's the trademark of Loyola's defense, the takeaway. But we get a hold on the Greyhounds, so Yale gets it back.
Double teams and trail checks are the signatures of this gangrene defense. Swarming to ball carriers, getting the ball off the carpet, and running in transition.
Here comes the great Ben Reeves, a save by Jacob Stover, but Reeves is there for the rebound and the goal. 2 early goals for Reeves, and Yale off to the fast start.
Ben Reeves is so dangerous, and Foster Huggins has had an amazing season. Talked about him in the open in terms of his ability to take the ball away. From a size standpoint, Quint, though, this is a tall task for the All-American from Loyola to stop Ben Reeves.
Guys in white flying around right now. They're a big, strong team, but they look really quick. You had to be, I don't know if concern's the right word, Anish, but there was a certain antsiness to this Yale group under head coach Andy Shea this week. You think about the last decade, what they've accomplished. Like, this is the moment they've worked for now for about 10 years. How would they react?
Yale has emerged as the preeminent power in the Ivy League, but in this decade, we've seen Cornell get to championship weekend, Brown get to championship weekend, and for all of Yale's success in conference, it has not translated in the NCAA tournament. Last week was just Yale's 2nd NCAA tournament win this decade. First NCAA tournament win for this senior class.
Well, this is a team, they were ranked number 1 for portions of this year. I believe their only weakness is between the pipes and Jack Starr. He's had moments of brilliance. He's a freshman, so he's had those kind of moments also. Top to bottom, they look the part of a championship weekend team.
Starr, a freshman out of Washington, D.C., has now Loyola on offense. Here is Pat Spencer, 3-time Patriot League Player of the Year, 2-time Tewaaraton finalist. One of the all-time greats at Loyola. Finding the long pole, Davliakos. And there to back up is Duffy.
Everything but the finish. 2-man pick and slip game with the long pole, Davliakos, who is being covered by Connor Mackey.
Aiden Olmstead, the freshman, over to Jay Drapeau. 41 goals this season for Drapeau. A midfield record for Loyola. Reeves versus Spencer. As advertised, as Pat Spencer gets the...
Pat Spencer is going to have a big day if Yale plays him straight up. Spencer is used to seeing all sorts of junkyard defenses in the Patriot League. He's big, he's strong, he's fast. As I said earlier, there's nothing he can't do. That's a straight line power dodge to his right hand.
There's nothing 7 in green cannot do. A jack of all trades, the Renaissance man. 165 career assists. You look at his athleticism. Quint, you mentioned in the Open his ability to play hoops. A fantastic dunker in the sport of basketball. We saw his dodging ability. So when teams decide to slide to him, then he gets everyone else involved, and it is watch out city.
Spencer is a young man who played JV lacrosse as a sophomore in high school. He's the classic example of a late bloomer. He and his parents decided that was in his best interest, the boys Latin. He developed as a junior and senior. He tore it up. Coach Metzbauer and Toomey watched him quite frequently play basketball. They knew the athlete.
Loyola turns it over after the face-off violation against Yale.
In an era when his classmates in 9th and 10th grade were giving verbals, nobody knew who he was yet.
He was a late bloomer, 5'4" as a high school freshman, 6'3" as a high school senior.
Greatest gift of all is time, gentlemen, especially in athletics.
John Danigelis for Yale, shooting wide.
Okay, these early possessions now. As an individual, you're trying to gauge your matchup. A big, fast, strong. What are the characteristics of the man I'm covering or dodging against? And then as a group, as Loyola creates their second cause turnover, as a group, you're gauging the double team mentality. Are they coming with an early double, an early slide? Are they passive? What's it look like away from me off ball?
This is a Yale team that rides into the quarterfinals on an 8-game win streak. 3 consecutive Patriot League titles. And the juniors and seniors, Quint, on this Loyola team, they've been to championship weekend just 2 years removed.
They did. They lost to North Carolina in a forgettable semifinal game, but they have experience in this game, and that's what matters. This quarterfinal game, Charlie Toomey, their head coach, has created a national power, quite honestly. A mid-major that has risen initially under Dave Cottle, now under Toomey, on the map every year.
There's the matchup, Spencer against Fake. That one hit the crossbar. Alex McGovern, the North Carolina transfer.
This game should have excellent tempo. Both of these teams play with a certain pace. I don't think you're going to see much stalling or many shot clock warnings.
Here comes John Duffy, the junior captain out of Oregon. Now McGovern against Danigelis. Alex McGovern ties it at 2 for Loyola.
You know what I love about this goal? McGovern took the shot earlier in this possession and got absolutely tattooed. We talk about the speed on both teams, physically tough, mentally tough. He gets crushed and then goes right after that Yale defense. And the lefty transfer from North Carolina showing some range, Q.
Lefty rip on the run. If you're Yale, you've got to shade and take away his strong hand and turn him back to his right.
Tied at 2, 9:13 to go in this opening quarter. It is quarterfinal number 1. The winner of this game will take on Albany or Denver. And then 2 more quarterfinal games tomorrow in Annapolis. The 1 seed Maryland against Cornell, while Duke will take on Johns Hopkins. A first round rematch from a season ago. Here is Jackson Morrill. 3 lacrosse Hall of Famers in his family. Father Mike, grandfather Bill, great-grandfather Kelso. All played at Johns Hopkins. Kelso was also a coach there. Now here comes Alessi against Mintzloff. Loyola last week really shut down Virginia for the better part of 3 quarters. Final score 14-12. The game was never really that close. Alessi turned away by Ryder Harkins. And now Reeves against Huggins, only for a moment. Brian Tevlin, freshman out of Livingston, New Jersey. Here's Lucas Kotler. Had a couple of goals in round one against UMass. Huggins shading Reeves. Here's Morrill. Tevlin steps into one, beats Stover over that left shoulder. It's 3-2 Yale.
Yale creates a terrific matchup. Inside, Morrill gets switched on a shorty, so he peels off behind the goal. It's Morrill 15 and white against Minsloff. Well, that's not a great scenario if you're Loyola, so they double Jackson Morrill. Potential step-down shot. It's Tevlin and Yale up 3-2. Watch Morrill take it top side, and 12 and white buries the rock.
The NCAA Men's Lacrosse Championships is brought to you by the all-new, totally remixed Volkswagen Jetta. Just crack it.
Final that was played in the rain, much like today. In goal for Loyola that day, wearing number 7, their current head coach, Charlie Toomey.
Wearing those fresh white sweats. They had a sheen to them.
Yale tied this game at 13 to force overtime, and in OT, in the rain, Chris Colbeck delivered the game winner to send Loyola to the championship game.
Okay, unseen in that game, if you look at Andy Shea.
Yale has not made it back to championship weekend. 1990, that was the year the Dow cracked 2,800 for the first time. The Hubble telescope launched into orbit. Number 1 song in May of 1990, Vogue by Madonna.
Cuse won their 3rd national title. As you said, Toomey was the goalie. Steve Vakeness, who's been the volunteer assistant at Loyola, was the face-off man that day. And it was his work against John Reese of Yale that tipped the scales in Loyola's favor late in that game. Reese, an all-time legend and Hall of Famer, 82 goals that season as a face-off man and
I didn't bring my rain gear, though. My dad packed the car. The boys headed down to Rutgers, and it was awesome. My favorite player in college lacrosse was Jim Blanding, who played for Loyola. I used to watch everything he used to do.
Those 82 goals by Reese, still a single-season record. Shared now. Miles Thompson tied it a few years ago. Here's Joey Sessa. Lightning in a shot glass at 5'5", feeding the crease, finding Reeves. That's turned away and vacuumed by Foster Huggins, the Patriot League Defensive Player of the Year.
Tell ya, Huggins was staring at the ball carrier and Reeves pulled the string. Let's take a look at some keys for the Greyhounds. I think they've got to win this Stover-Star goalie matchup and somehow survive the face-offs going head-to-head with Connor Mackey. And then defensively, their identity, as I said earlier, double teams and trail checks lead to turnovers.
Pat Spencer's got a shorty in Danagelis. Spencer sitting on 99 career goals, now picked up on the switch by Robert Mooney. Gets away from Drapeau, able to retrieve. And Drapeau shaded by Tyler Warner, one of the best short stick D-middies in all of college lacrosse, 5 and white.
Tire, go! Bottom right, bottom right. Top right. Tire, go.
Here comes McGovern, he's got a goal. Turned around, lost the ball. Here comes Danagelis. Unsettled opportunity for Yale. Danagelis to Morrill. Gaudette, a save made by Stover. A lot of weapons on this Yale offense. Matt Gaudette in the Ivy League semifinals against Penn had 7 goals. And then Reeves had 5 goals in the championship. And then Morrill had 7 in round 1.
Depth of scoring is their signature. The guys in white. 4 players with plus 30 goals. 8 different players with 18 points or more. So they're deep. It's not a one-man team with Reeves.
Alessi, save made by Stover. Here's the outlet. Brian Begley, the senior captain.
Stover standing tall. He is under an onslaught of shots now with already 4 stops. The last one his best, and that'll get you in a groove, Anish, when you make a clean catch.
Here comes Begley, a senior captain, much like 2012, the rope unit. The defensive midfield is the backbone of this Loyola team.
Not only are they good defensively, but they contribute in the score sheet. Loyola has scored 25 goals this year from non-offensive personnel.
Drapeau against Kotler. Now behind the cage. Here's Spencer on the wing. Spencer attacking. Save made by Starr. Olmstead gets it back. Here's P.J. Brown, Jr. out of Cazenovia, New York. Olmstead, a freshman, along with Kevin Lindley, a fellow freshman. The 2 other starters on attack with the junior Spencer. Duffy way off the mark. Drapeau there to back up.
Olmstead has the matchup here, gentlemen. 19 in green. Looking to switch now. He's an attackman. And Tevlin, the midfielder, out of his element. But Olmstead has stepped up big time as a freshman.
Clark, we've seen a bad shot, now a bad pass. How are the conditions down there with the sticks and the rain?
You know, it's wet, but over the last few years, I think the technology in mesh. Whoa! What a rip.
P.J. Brown, the equalizer, to tie this game at 3.
It wasn't the most gorgeous possession for the Greyhounds. A bad shot, a near turnover, passing accuracy wasn't there, and then Brown, a wing rip. They call him Butters. Just giving too much real estate in Anish, and he paints that near side high corner.
Quint, you were worried about the conditions. I'll tell you, it's slick. It's a new turf that was installed in December. But the mesh pockets of the players, not as much of a concern. Over the last 5-10 years, the technology in the mesh has been so much more advanced than the caveman days when I played in the 90s, or when you were trying to stop the gates in the 90s as well. The mesh used to expand, bag out. These mesh companies now have dialed it in so they could absorb the moisture in the wet conditions.
Face-off violation on Yale. Loyola that time with Bailey Savio with the face-off X. His older brother Graham, a standout Fogo for Loyola. Here is Olmstead, chased by Kevin O'Connor. Down shot by Riley Cox, and an easy save on one hop by Starr. Third save by Jack Starr, and Quint, you alluded to it. Yale's shortcomings in the postseason the last 7-8 years, it's been in the cage.
Andy Shea telling us they've learned how to win for years without awesome goaltending.
Paul, your keys for Yale.
Midfield production. So much attention's on this guy with the ball right now, Ben Reeves. The midfielders like Tevlin, who scored earlier, will have those open looks. And then time the ride. The Lacrosse's version of the full court press. Yale goes that deep into the ride and can suffocate the opposition. So that's something to look at. How can Loyola handle that ride? That's Yale's calling card.
Here is Jack Ty from Garden City, New York. Just a few minutes away from Hempstead.
High volume shooter. Ty, the junior, who played at Chaminade, over 100 shots this season.
Reeves skips one, Danagelis, and Yale back on top in what's been a back and forth opening quarter.
One of my keys was midfield production. We saw Tevlin from the perimeter earlier. Now DeAngelis There is so much attention on Ben Reeves when he has the ball. The two lower corners, Quint, are pinching so low that they're begging Yale's offensive midfielders to set their feet and let it fly.
That's exactly accurate, Clark. Reeves draws that adjacent double team, but the structure of Loyola's defense, let's call it a house, is really condensed, and they're backing in, giving up that outside shot.
Ben Reeves, Yale's all-time points leader, now 300 career points, and with that last assist, 9 single-season school record.
Well, Andy Shea knew he was getting a very good player when they were recruiting Ben Reeves. But the progress that Reeves showed as a freshman in the weight room, athletically, and then realizing that his lacrosse IQ had no bounds, the improvement and player development aspect of Ben's success, I think, is notable.
He's a great story indeed. He only had one other Division I offer. I spent some time with him last season. Hobart was the only other school that offered Ben Reeves, and Andy Shea has done a fantastic job finding these diamonds in the rough that oftentimes go unnoticed.
Andy Shea told us a couple of weeks ago when Reeves arrived on campus, the first time they measured his vertical, Reeves was at 17 inches. A year later, he almost doubled that. Shows you the work that he put in the weight room, in the offseason, with conditioning.
No fouls! No fouls!
17 inches. That's like an Anish Shroff vert.
You're giving me too much credit.
Only one way to go from there.
Let's
Shot
see how,
clock against Yale.
Yeah, let's see how he attacks Huggins here now. He's the taller, faster in this matchup. His straight line speed is exceptional.
30 seconds to get a shot on goal. That shot clock now at 15. Reeves doubled, skip pass, jack tie, bingo.
It starts with Ben Reeves creating a matchup advantage behind the goal. Full speed off the pitch. Defense has to rotate. He's got two choices here. Does he throw it to Danagelis, who's adjacent, or does he skip it across the face of the defense? He throws a dart. Look at that. I mean, that is right on the money. Ty is able to catch in rhythm, crow step, celebration time.
Pick your poison, Quint. Slide to him early, he will dissect you with those passes. Don't slide to him. He does what he does best, goes one-on-one.
Yeah, Loyola's picked both in this first quarter. 2 goals, 2 assists for Reeves. And right now, Yale winning the possession game as Mackey wins another faceoff. It feels like the Bulldogs have had the ball for most of this quarter. 15 seconds. Here's Reeves against Huggins. The senior captain from Macedon, New York, swarmed in a double. Begley jarred it loose, and Begley picks it up with 5 seconds. Up ahead, Olmsted can't handle it, and the first quarter will come to an end. Reeves and Spencer, the 2 Tewaaraton finalists, both put their stamp on the first 15 minutes. Spencer, a goal and an assist. Reeves, 2 and 2. Yale, looking to get back to championship weekend for the second time in 3 years as we go down to Paul.
Coach, after that first quarter, Ben Reeves, 2 goals, 2 assists. What's your biggest concern defensively?
You know, we got to communicate out there. Right now, I think they got us on one where we were in half zone, half man. They're starting to drag us away a little bit. We're putting a lot of emphasis on Ben Reeves, and I think they're playing behind the ball really well. He's dragging a double, throwing through, and getting some good step downs. We're going to see how things go, but we're going to try and hedge that adjacent a little bit more.
Thanks, Coach.
Okay.
All right, Quint, I want you to be the lacrosse translator. When Charlie Toomey says hedge that adjacent, what does he mean?
Well, when Reeves carries the ball up that left side, the adjacent man, that's the player basically covering the midfielder on that side, has got to make a decision. Is he going to double team down on Reeves, or is he going to wait and kind of fake it? So you can take a couple steps towards Ben, and that'll discourage him from turning the corner. So I think you'll see a less aggressive defensive posture from Loyola's defense, trusting Foster Huggins to cover Reeves.
Just saw Reeves with 4 points in that opening quarter. Now the all-time leading scorer in Yale history and also with the single season mark. First Yale player with 100 points in one season. Mackey wins the faceoff 7-3 now in favor of the Elis.
That's a big deal. That is a big deal. Connor Mackey is just a giant. He's a behemoth among faceoff men. At 6'1", 215, he's got a significant power advantage in this faceoff matchup.
Seeing some pressure here from Loyola. Spencer, very good in the riding game, and Yale able to clear. Now Reeves against Huggins. Ben Reeves, two-time Ivy League Player of the Year, three-time Tewaaraton Award finalist. There's Jack Ty, he's got a goal today. Now Danagelis over to Jackson Morrill. Joey Sessa. Small, shifty, and quick. Sessa able to move the defense. Ty fakes the pass. Good recovery there by Zach Davliakos, the senior captain.
Yale's about team offense. Number 2 scoring group in the country. And I love how the different skill sets, whether it's Reeves and his speed passing, Gaudette's a finisher, Sessa's quick and shifty. It's like a great salad in each. They complement one another.
Ben Reeves, that's off the side of the net. Stover tries to clamp down, and it's picked up by Huggins. Jacob Stover, the goalie for Loyola, Patriot League Goalkeeper of the Year, and the son of former NFL kicker and Super Bowl champion Matt Stover. Also a disciple of yours, Quint Kessner.
I worked with Jake kind of as a bridge between his high school days at McDonough School, where he was coached by Andy Hilgartner, prior to Loyola for about 2 years during the summers. Endless appetite for shots and learning, great attitude and effort. Spent a lot of time. His dad, Matt, would tutor young kickers on the field next to us. And so we would kind of exchange information. Kicking and goaltending are similar in that you're on an island. You've got to have focus, poise.
Kick save that time by Starr on the shot from Duffy. You also can't linger too long on the previous mistake, right?
No, again, next play mentality. Matt Stover with over 2,000 NFL career points, dozens of years in the league, two Super Bowl rings.
Rain coming down here at Hofstra. Lucas Kotler.
Gentlemen, you know what's interesting? They're putting Ben Reeves inside quite a bit. Foster Huggins is a perimeter defender who likes to chase the ball, putting him out of his element.
Out of the box, Tevlin. Tevlin had a first quarter goal, just his second of the season. Came into the game shooting 1 for 13. Now Alessi, terrific athlete, 2-sport star at Yale. Had a couple of punt return touchdowns in his career with the Bulldogs football team. Morrill. Pushed out to the wing by Higgins. Short stick matchup. Now Matt Gaudette. Reeves against Huggins. Reeves, what a move! Finding Gaudette. Oh, the brilliance of Ben Reeves.
The passing ability of Patrick Spencer and Ben Reeves has been on display quite a bit. The speed dodge of Ben Reeves we've seen all season long, but this is ridiculous shake on Foster Huggins, who's on track to be a first-team All-American. When you turn around a guy like that, and the defense has to rotate, smell ya later.
Andy Shea told us that Foster Huggins is a lead with the poke check type of guy. When Huggins lunged and poked at Reeves and missed, there's a moment there where the defender's a little flat-footed and leaning forward. Reeves capitalized on it. Anish, it's like me jabbing you, and I miss, and all of a sudden I'm exposed for the hook.
Ben Reeves, Quint, has had a hand in 5 of Yale's 6 goals. He scored the first 2. He's assisted on the last 3.
When you watch him dodge there, too, is the plant foot. The plant foot when he changed direction was so aggressive.
Keep it low, dog. Get up, what's that left? Hey, Duffy, don't leave. Come on, Duffy.
Here comes Danagelis against Davliakos.
Bulldogs playing with great confidence in our live games. They've been a little helter-skelter in the confidence department. We saw them dust Penn and 2 days later not play great against Cornell. This is the Yale team we expected to see all season long.
Sessa.
Good D, hug.
Now Morrill has the defense hung up.
You ready for checks? Turn him, get into him.
Morrill picked up by Harkins.
Drop down.
Rain starting to come down a little harder. Ty. Ty.
Chuck.
Skips one to Danagelis, too far out. And now a shot clock against Yale. 30 seconds to get a shot on goal. It has to hit the goalie, hit the pipe, or go in. Here's Reeves. He's done what he wants so far. Bounce shot that time is wide, no flag. Looked like Sessa may have been pushed, may have slipped.
Yale sideline thought it was a push.
14 on the clock.
Back left, back right.
Reeves against Huggins.
Set.
Reeves using the shake. Can he get topside? Good recovery there by Huggins.
Really good defense by 20 and Green, because that is the danger zone when you're guarding Ben Reeves. He comes up that lefty goal line extended, and even good defense he can capitalize on because how long he is.
2 to shoot. And Danagelis just lobs one behind the cage.
Here comes the 10-man ride. You can hear it from the sideline.
The cage is open.
It's a 3-4-3 alignment with an empty net.
How about Pat Spencer? And now here comes Loyola.
Good coaching by Charlie Toomey and his staff. They knew that ride was coming. They swing Spencer, their best player, all the way back into the defensive zone to help and to carry it up the field.
Kark, this ride by Yale has been a huge weapon. The last 8 opponents have been clearing at 75% against Yale.
Press coverage in football, it's full court press in basketball. They have the athletes to do it and the mentality too. The team feeds off this. The only other teams out there in the country that I feel like feed off that 10-man ride, Bucknell, Notre Dame.
Duffy to Spencer. Spencer gets one back for Loyola, his second.
Power and determination. The ability to deal with contact. Patrick Spencer catches this ball behind the goal with a full head of steam, drops his shoulders, little shake and bake, turn and rake. Spencer and Reeves putting on a show.
2 players, not for an age, but for all time.
Hello, gentlemen. It is wet, it's soggy, and it's cold here in Hempstead, New York. And Quentin, Anish, we've been talking during the break. The equipment, it's an issue, and it's a great message to all the young bucks out there. If you have a pair of gloves, keep the second spare for the second half because it gets waterlogged, your equipment gets heavy. I'm not as concerned about the sticks in terms of the way they're throwing. more concerned about how heavy they get, especially these guys that put a lot of tape on their sticks. The stick gets waterlogged, the gloves get waterlogged. Quint, you know what it's like as a goalie in there, not fun.
Yeah, you know, I always felt it was important to keep my stick dry. I'm surprised to see Yale sticks out in the elements. I always wrapped mine in a plastic bag and hid it under the bench. If I had a second pair of gloves, Anish, I considered that for the second half because water-soaked gloves are heavy, and that would impact my hand speed. Same with cleats.
That is the third face-off violation on Yale, so Loyola will go man up for 30 seconds.
I think it's the other way around, Anish.
I'm sorry, yes, you're right. Five straight face-off wins now for Yale. 32nd man up.
Yeah, Connor Mackey putting on a show. Best supporting athletic performance today behind Reeves.
Oh, he has provided
awesome.
The possessions.
I mean, later we're talking about T.D. Erlin of Albany. Mackey dusted Erlin 13-8 when this Yale team beat the Danes.
Kotler's shot saved.
Nice out
by Stover. Davliakos, now Duffy. And out of the box comes Kevin Lindley, so back to even strength. Loyola looking to close to within one.
Get the feeling that the Hounds are going to need a transition goal in this game, Anish.
But where do they get the transition offense? Well, it's off of faceoffs often.
Off of faceoff. That was a clean save by Stover. I was surprised to see Davliakos give that up to the point man instead of carrying in and drawing before doing so.
Well, they were man down. Here's Duffy. Bounce shot. Comes to Spencer. Spencer. Nice. Denied by Starr. 5 saves now for the freshman goalie. Here comes Chris Fake. And a timeout by Andy Shea with 6:42 to go in this opening half. Fake, the Ivy League Freshman of the Year. Our first team All-American according to the media voting.
Nice job by Starr now to get back on his line. I love his positioning, and he fills up the upper portion of the goal. On inside shots, your mindset as a young goalie should be 70 to 80% of the shots are coming high. I can't let the shooter beat me to the punch. I've got to take away high. If he jams it low down in the corner, you know what? I'm turning around, grabbing that ball, and flipping it to the ref. That's not on me. But if it goes over my shoulder or over my stick, I own that goal. So great job by the freshman Starr.
This game featured 2 of the great offensive talents in Pat Spencer and Ben Reeves. This is getting Pacino and De Niro in the same movie on screen at the same time, and so far, this one has lived up to what we thought it would be.
And how about a comparison? IQ, you're seeing it. I mean, the pass from Ben Reeves through the defense, Spencer's ability to break the 10-man ride, creativity. I give Pat Spencer on his body of work this year the advantage there because he is ambidextrous. Speed, ain't nobody as fast as Ben Reeves. I mean, I think when he enters Major League Lacrosse, he'll be one of the faster players in the league. COD, Spencer's more of a shake and bake. I think he gets that from the basketball court. Vision on the year, Spencer. Today, though, man, Reeves has cut that defense in half with those skip passes. And then shooting range, no doubt in this category. When Yale has an extra man, Reeves is a threat from 15, 16, 17 yards. He's got a strong outside shot.
So far in this first half, Spencer 2 goals and an assist. Reeves 2 goals, 3 assists. There is a Larry Bird, a Dominique Wilkins type of dynamic to this game. The 2 superstars going back and forth. And Paul, you've got the best view in the house. 2 elite talents, 2 of the greatest to play at their respective institutions.
Competitive fire, too, and you know the old cliche, make everyone around them better. This is what these guys truly do. And Quint, when you look at that breakdown, You almost got to laugh, too, because when you check one player, you think of what the other player is not getting that nod, but he does that at an elite level, too. It's splitting hairs.
Yeah, well, great players are tough to define. You can't define what Reeves means to this program. Staying after practice, working with the younger players, making Chris Fake the defender that he has turned out to be. I saw it firsthand at a late March practice.
Sessa. And now Gaudette chasing Huggins.
I think Stover got that with his left shoulder.
That's one Sessa. He's coming around that goal line extended, increasing his angle to the middle of the crease. His stick is high. Just shoot at the goalie's ankles.
In the same token that Ben Reeves has worked with Chris Fake, Pat Spencer has really taken the two freshman attackmen, Olmstead and Lindley, under his wing. And Charlie Toomey describes that relationship akin to a father and his son, Spencer providing encouragement. Oh, by the way, Spencer's only 2 years older. P.J. Brown on the invert. Now back to Spencer. Matched by the freshman Fake. Spencer, the 6'3 junior dynamo. The Patriot League's all-time leader in assists and points. Still has another year left. Here's Olmstead. Wide. Another opportunity here.
Wow, call on the end line. They're saying Spencer stepped out of bounds.
Wow.
Spencer caught the shot, the bounce shot. It skipped right into his stick. And the referee then said with his back foot that he must have planted on the line before delivering that feed back into the offense.
Almost better off letting that shot go. Some pressure now by Loyola. Alessi into the attack box to clear. Here's Alessi against Higgins. Now Tevlin, the freshman from Livingston, New Jersey. At the step on Foster Huggins. Plays it behind to Morrill against Harkins. Good defense. Kotler. Shaded by Zach Davliakos. Davliakos born with only 2 fingers on his left hand, thumb and pinky. Charlie Toomey saw him, said it didn't matter, he saw a lacrosse player. Yale turns it over. Here's that last sequence, and you can see Spencer, yeah, that back foot was out of bounds.
Nice job by our truck, led by producer Todd Jones and director Charlie Vanacore. Tough conditions for our cameras, folks. We're doing our best to keep those lenses clean and give you the best angles here. It is coming down hard.
Brian Abbott, Dan Ferry, Rob Gross, the officials today. Loyola looking to close within 1. Yale has led most of the way. The Greyhounds, in fact, have never led. There's John Duffy, junior captain out of Portland, Oregon.
Next.
Dad, a 4-year starter on the Oregon football team. Now Drapeau, he's been quiet today.
Collapsing defense by Yale on Drapeau. They just didn't let him go. So ruled interference. Anishi made a valid point. You know, Duffy right now, 5 and green, his shot doesn't look the same because of these conditions. Olmstead and Lindley quiet. Drapeau not getting his looks that he needs. He's a 40-goal scorer from the midfield, so not the typical Loyola offense yet.
Last week, Loyola had a lot of secondary scoring to complement Spencer. Here's Drapeau. 41 goals on the season. The most by a Loyola midfielder in one campaign. He's got a tough matchup against Warner. An outstanding short stick D-Midi. Look at Warner all over him. Drapeau can't get loose. Warner knocked it away.
Advantage defense. Strong on the corner. I get you with the trail check.
Tyler Warner, second-round pick of the Florida launch in the MLL draft.
Oh!
And now Warner's got his stick knocked out of his hands by McNulty.
Sidewalk, Sale, and Hempstead.
Duffy, Star stopped it, finally finds it. The wet turf with an assist there. Danigelis the other way. Danigelis splitting the D, saved by Stover. 90 seconds to go in the opening half. 7 saves for Stover. Scramble. Yale picks it up. Morrill, 1:20 to go.
This is great action. End to end, I love it. Benches going ballistic. Fans getting their money's worth.
Timeout by Yale and Andy Shea with 1:13 to go in this first half. Ben Reeves, 2 goals, 3 assists, the Tewaaraton finalist for Yale. Pat Spencer, 2 goals and a helper, the Tewaaraton finalist for Loyola. Reeves has had a hand, Quint, in all but one of the Eli's goals.
He opened the scoring on an assist from Jackson Morrow, where Loyola's defense somehow left him all alone. Rebound, always hustling, always in the right spot. And then we get to see his passing excellence, finding Danigelis. This one I love. Skips right through the defense. I mean, he cuts him in half. From strong side of the formation to weak side. Eyes up, and the last one to Matt Gaudette in the slot. Molecular and cellular biology major. He's going to postpone going to medical school for 2 years and do research in New York City. That man is the definition of what a true student athlete in the sport of lacrosse looks like.
Paul.
Big brains, big game. And when you watch him play, there's certain athletes, you know you want to stop them with their strong hand. A lot like James Harden. He's got the shooting range. He could spray it from downtown and on that left goal line extended area. The unstoppable lefty. Everybody knows he wants his left. It doesn't matter. He still finds it. And then the scoring production, well, just look at today. He gives so much juice and octane to this Yale offense. And the shooting ability of Ben Reeves. Shoot first, but we've seen this on display, not just today, but throughout the course of his career. If you force him to feed, Quint, he's got those next level passes. We saw a couple today in that first quarter that were just beautiful.
I got to throw that graphic by my NBA friend Mark Jones. And he'd ask me, can Reeves give him the sauce? Yeah, Jones, he can give him the sauce.
He can give you the sauce. A timeout by Loyola. Assist to our friend in the studio as well. Ryan Boyle brought up that comparison during the Ivy League tournament. But Quint, you said it, student athlete. This is a kid who has spent time working in a research lab to find a cure for leukemia. He shadowed a pediatric oncologist. His dreams and his ambitions have a chance to be world-changing. I mean, that's what's impressive about this young man. Macedon, New York, senior captain for all the work that he's done as a lacrosse player, and he's an all-timer at Yale. What's ahead of him down the road outside of lacrosse? There's a lot there.
And in an era where college sports are less about academics, to me, in a year where I get to see big-time football and basketball and wrestling and all this, like, he stands out. Like, people say, well, there are no student athletes anymore. I'm like, no. I cover one in lacrosse. His name is Ben Reeves, and he's going to cure cancer someday. And he's the best player in the school's history.
Last year, Quint, when I spent a day on campus with him, spent multiple hours, we hardly talked about lacrosse. I mean, he was just an amazing kid. Took me around to some of his classrooms and the bio building, a little bit over my head academically, but he can relate to everyone. He's an unassuming, just great kid, too. I mean, just if you talk to his teammates, you talk to his coaches. They always tell you he's like the nicest kid in the locker room. but he has that competitive fire.
5 points in this first half. 1 minute to go. Yale looking to tack on to a 6-4 lead.
Loyola looks like they're in a zone right now on defense.
Morrill behind the cage. Reeves on the wing. He loves that right wing. It's his sweet spot. Now Ty. Over to Kotler. "40 seconds. 20 seconds to go in the opening half. Here's Reeves. Over to Morrill. Inside, save by Stover. 8 first half saves. Jacob Stover has kept Yale at bay. Loyola turns it over, but only 1.8 seconds left to go. I guess they say that's a shot. Olmstead into the cross of Starr. The play of Jacob Stover has kept this game close. It has been an offensive onslaught from Yale, and Stover has stood his ground. Only a 2-goal deficit for Loyola right now. Yale, meanwhile, 30 minutes away from a trip to championship weekend for the first time since 1990. Kark with Andy Shea.
Coach, where have you seen the greatest seams offensively with Ben in that group?
I mean, I think they're sliding to him, and Ben's finding guys over the top. I mean, we feel like if we can absorb their initial pressure, that we can hopefully get some openings.
Defensively, they have their own superstar in Patrick Spencer. What concerns you the most about that matchup?
I mean, he got loose a couple times on the corner there. We showed off the adjacent. I think we got to play him a little bit more adjacently and not, probably play him a little more straight up and not leave him too much.
We got to get you some rain gear.
I think I got it.
Paul, thank you. Paul's got the nice galoshes today.
Yale dominating kind of the flow of play, but as you said, they should be up by more than 6-4. There's a couple reasons why.
Well, the 2 superstars have come as advertised. Ben Reeves, a 5-point first half.
Look, his speed, his ability to generate separation is world class. Hustling for the rebound. The vision on that assist, cutting the defense in half with the skip pass, and then splitting left to right and finding Matt Gaudette inside, as advertised. Meanwhile, Pat Spencer has used power as his main attribute today. Strong shoulders, boom, running through checks and getting to pay dirt. Meanwhile, the possession game has been dominated by Yale's Connor Mackey. 6'1", 205. He's a horse. Quick on the clamp. Great exit strategies. This game would not be 6-4 without the play of Loyola goalie Jacob Stover. The junior, son of Ravens kicker Matt Stover, has been outstanding. Standing on his head, he's got 8 saves, body saves, split saves. I mean, this thing would be out of control if not for Stover.
Spencer and Reeves have combined for 8 points in the first half as we check in with Kark.
Well, Ben Reeves was the headline of the defensive conversation for Loyola and defensive coordinator Matt Dwan. He said when you're playing a guy like Ben Reeves, just like Pat Spencer, they do everything. If you slide to him too early, he becomes a passer. But they need to mix in some zone, some man, give him different looks, and then on the perimeter, they need to press out adjacent too on some of these midfield shooters we saw in that first half. The Yale offensive midfielders, whether it's Tevlin or DeAngelis, were firing from the outside when Loyola showed too much adjacent.
Yale wins another face-off, now 10 out of 13. Mackey's won 6 straight, but the Bulldogs having some trouble clearing it. Ty able to split a double, and he touches up. Jack Ty all the way. Say that's a shot. Jackson Morrill there to back up. And Yale now will set up on offense. The rain really starting to come down.
It's a great day to ride aggressively, Anish, because when these pockets change, it's harder to throw long distance passes. The 10-man ride is ideal for rainy day conditions.
DeAngelis against Mintzlaff. The 6'4" short stick D midi.
He's a good one, 44 in green. Military family, kicked around the U.S., St. Louis, Hawaii, ended up playing high school lacrosse in Chicago.
Both parents in the Air Force.
Top center! Who's hot? Runs and loud! Good check, good check.
Ben Reeves trying to get open. Foster Huggins on him like a shadow. Ty trying to turn around, and Reeves will watch it go out of bounds.
Your ability as a team defense to make adjustments, to follow the instructions of a Coach Toomey or a Matt Dwan, and execute and improve from first half to second half. That's essential if you want to play at Gillette Stadium next week in the semifinals.
Loose ball picked up by Loyola. Flag coming against Yale.
Foster Huggins at it again. Pickpocket, turnover creator.
Here comes Spencer. Fakes the pass. Finding Duffy on the wing. John Duffy out of Portland, Oregon, which has churned out some pretty good lacrosse players of late. Peter Baum won a Tewaaraton for Colgate. Tucker Dordovic had a terrific freshman season at Syracuse. Duffy, lefty shot.
Better for Duffy. He's 0 for 3 right now in the game. That one was at least close to the target. Reeves is going to get a push here after Huggins picked his pocket, stole his lunch money. Opportunity now for Loyola to find some rhythm with their extra man. Olmsted, Lindley, and Drapeau have yet to attempt a shot. As we'll take a look at the pushing with possession, right side of your screen. Their extra man has not been great this year, but they need contributions. Again, Olmsted, Lindley, and Drapeau, some of their leading scorers, have been silent today.
Last week against Virginia, despite scoring 14 goals, Loyola 0 for 7 with the extra man. We've gone to the reverse look, and we're going to stay with it. The rain really doing a number on our cameras. Many of you have chimed in, and we've noticed foggy lenses, wet lenses. So we're changing to the reverse look. So hopefully you guys get a better picture at home. We hear you. Our camera guys down there in the elements working hard. Back to 6-on-6 now. There's Pat Spencer, defense hung up. Spencer 2 goals, 1 assist. More assists and points this season than any player to ever wear a Loyola Greyhound uniform. There's Aiden Olmsted, the freshman. Hockey background, also played golf and badminton in high school.
I love badminton.
Spencer feeding the crease. Bobby Austin had a good look. The supporting cast for Loyola has to step up.
That's right.
They got the lead singer. They got the guy who can wow the audience.
They got Benny. They need the Jets. Spencer to Olmsted. Olmsted, the freshman. Drapeau can't connect, and really the midfield fire has been missing so far. Where's Drapeau? Where's Duffy? Those two guys came into this game having combined for 66 goals. None so far. Spencer now up top to Duffy. Duffy against Warner. Couldn't get the shot off. Here comes Warner. He's got 3 goals. Warner to Morrill. Gaudette saves Stover, his 9th. And Stover out of the cage, couldn't pick it up clean. Reeves has it. Stover able to retreat back into goal.
You Think about this winter and spring, Anish, with a horrible, long, dark winter we had with lots of snowfall and then a wet spring. And the game, your season-defining moment right now, played in a pouring rainstorm. What do you got in terms of your ability to perform at a high level in adverse conditions? How's your equipment holding up? Are your fundamentals sound, tight?
A 16-minute scoreless drought for Yale as Tevlin fires high. Kark, you're down on the field. The wet conditions, how does it impact ground ball play?
It impacts everything. Ground balls are just an element of the game. It's a lot with the footing, though. Ground balls, it's a situation where you anticipate. So if you're flying around, you can't cut and you can't adjust to the ground ball. That becomes the bigger issue. Scooping it, not so much. It's the adjustment and the improvising.
Reeves skipped to tie. Another save by Stover, who's been a roadblock in goal for Loyola.
That one was dominating by the goaltender. Top hand quickness and speed. Catch it clearly. Clean outlet, and you get to pump your fist.
Mintzloff, and there's Starr with the answer at the other end.
The young question mark, playing a strong game, Jack Starr. Freshman from Washington, D.C.
His dad, a college hockey player. His mom, a figure skater in college.
You know, Anish, you mentioned the ground balls. One thing I'd like Q to chime in here, too. It's the bounce shots, too. Let's see if any of these teams try to use the turf and the slick turf, too, because a lot of times, Quint, you know, on this turf, it can fly if you use it the proper way.
Use the earth, use the turf. The analogy I'll make, Anish, hard-boiled egg on a wet counter.
Right, okay.
When you peel that hard-boiled egg and put it on a wet counter, it skims.
Yep. Danigelis, Sessa, another ball on the turf. Huggins could not pick it clean. Huggins bothered by Sessa, loose ball. And finally, Huggins comes away with it.
He needs help. He needs help.
He's doubled.
Where's his teammates?
Out of bounds, knocked out by Huggins. Yale gets it back.
That's anticipation now. If you see your teammates outnumbered on a grounder, you got to be the third guy in and help them out.
Alessi around Begley, picked up by Harkins. Danigelis up top, shot. And that's wide. Reeves there for the backup.
Body blows now for this defense, Anish. They're starting to get a little tired, not moving around as much as they should. Long possessions.
Nobody has scored in this third quarter. Yale has never trailed in this game. Bulldogs, though, have missed their last 12 shots. Here's Reeves. 5 points, 2 goals, 3 helpers. Now Danigelis fakes the shot, going low and beating Stover low.
That is a super important goal to give Yale a 3-goal lead. An endless possession.
Quarterfinal number 1 out of 4. The winner of Yale Loyola will face the winner of Albany and Denver. The Titanic face-off battle, Baptiste and Erlin. Most anticipated opening face-off since Travolta and Cage actually swapped faces back in 1997. You've got Trevor Baptiste, the highest career face-off percentage in Division I college lacrosse history. T.D. Erlin statistically having the best single season for any face-off match.
I am the greatest of all time, Trevor Baptiste, the king and dominator, taking on the young buck, the new face, T.D., with the gaudy stats.
I wonder how the weather conditions impact the face-off matchup.
That's a great question for Greg Berenlian, who'll be joining us for our coverage of that game. Former face-off man at Penn State, New York Lizards, and of course with Team USA. The Gorilla is with us.
The Beast, man. Goes by the Beast. I think, though, when you watch the face-off guys, and I'm right on the line right now, watch their exits when it's really wet. Sometimes the traction can be tougher. A lot of these guys will clamp, and then they get into the pivot move. And, you know, you talk to T.D. Erlin, big-time wrestler. He equates it to wrestling and escapes. When the turf is wet, the escape becomes more difficult from a traction standpoint.
Yale had won the previous 6 face-offs. You talk about the quarterfinal round this year. Such a big theme, getting over the hump. Yale trying to get to championship weekend for the first time in almost 3 decades. Albany has never been there. They've suffered quarterfinal heartbreak in 3 of the last 4 years, including a devastating loss to go. The Duke seniors came to Durham on the heels of 8 straight championship weekend appearances. They have yet to go to the semifinals. Can they get there? Here is Pat Spencer. Took Loyola to the semis as a freshman 2 years ago against Chris Fake, the freshman defender. Doesn't play like a freshman. Spencer's shot, and Jack Starr denies that one. The goalies have been superb.
The reaction on Yale's sideline, they understand that any stops that the freshman can make coming in this game at 48%. He was a number 20 freshman according to Inside Lacrosse in their Power 100 list. He's explosive. I love his patience today. You know, typically when you're under duress as a freshman goalie, Anish, you can kind of step back and fall on some high school flaws, so to speak, and he's been really sound and patient. It's like a hunt. You're in the forest, the snake hunting a little rodent. Very still, very still. Boom, and then explosion.
Hound, we're staying hound.
Alessi
Hound, staying hound.
takes Begley behind the cage. Hard to change directions in this pouring rain. Tevlin now. Step on Mintzloff. Pass for Morrill. Hits the ground. Who wants it?
Get more jersey colors there.
50-50 ground ball. Popped into the air against a double. Morrill able to hold on. Plays it backwards. And Alessi comes away with it. Loyola still persistent. Those trail checks. Such a weapon, but Yale able to hold it. And Paul, what's the impact of these long possessions with these conditions?
Get you on the ropes, man. This is a defense's worst nightmare because it's just body blow against the ropes. And I'll tell you, we're seeing a lot more drop balls too. I wasn't so concerned with pocket depth being expanded by the rain and the wet conditions, but the ball becomes slicker and the mesh pocket with the wax coating becomes slicker. That's why we've seen more drop passes these last few possessions.
Shot clock against Yale. Here comes Reeves. Reeves looking to feed inside. I don't think so.
Nice pickoff by the goaltender, who's your 7th defender. And you see Loyola, just a jog of a breakout. I mean, the Greyhounds on defense are tired. You'd love to see them sprint out of the hole, but they're doing their best just to get upfield and jogging.
There's that ferocious ride by Yale.
And Yale won't tire. Too much depth.
I guess they gave Loyola a timeout. The Yale bench pleading its case that Yale had the ball. How was Loyola able to call a timeout?
Well, that's what Andy Shea thought, and it
Andy Shea got it right.
Yep.
Former assistant at Delaware and UMass.
In that scenario, to call a timeout, you must possess the ball and be in the attack box.
Correct. An astute play by Andy Shea to run down that official quickly and have the guys in stripes meet together. Andy Shea's all over it. Mechanical engineer by training. Excellent coach by profession now.
There was a game earlier this year between Marquette and Notre Dame where late in the game, Notre Dame was awarded a timeout when it did not appear they had possession in the attack box. Notre Dame ends up losing that game. They ended up winning. Who knows how things would have shaken. Morrill up top, Danagelis shooting wide. John Danagelis, former high school quarterback on Long Island, the only second half goal of this game.
He likes these conditions, Smithtown East.
Kotler, there's the double. Now Harkins on the switch, now Reeves.
Loyola might want to think about getting into a zone, Quint, to give these guys a rest. You saw Foster Huggins just got backdoored. These guys are gassed.
Face-offs have led to a possession disparity. Yale has good depth at the midfield, rotating fresh bodies in. It's been the same defensive core for the guys in green.
Yale has possessed the ball for what seems like the duration of this third quarter. Sessa gets blown up. Davliakos now for Loyola. That's actually Volant. Now Kevin Lindley, who had 4 goals on 5 shots against Virginia last week. And I know there's a minute 30 to go here. Yes, Loyola needs a goal. They also can't give the ball back to Yale one more time.
Critical possession here to end this third quarter.
Yep, you want to burn 45 seconds probably here.
You got to get a good look.
Yeah.
Duffy and Drapeau got to pick it up. They've been quiet. They're great players, not playing great today.
P.J. Brown against Will Renz. Now Spencer has Fake hung up. Spencer to Drapeau. Shovels back to Spencer, less than a minute to go. Another ball that hits the ground. Olmsted can't pick it clean. We get a loose ball hold against Yale. Loyola ball, 53 seconds to go. Now it's interference, so not a loose ball hold, an interference call against Robert Mooney, the junior, and now Loyola gets to go man up.
Opportunity for their offensive coordinator, Mark Van Arsdale, one of the best in the business, longtime assistant at Virginia in his second year now with the Greyhounds. So often teams have been shutting off Spencer. See how Yale handles this.
Loyola has not scored since the 7:58 mark of the second quarter. Austin to Duffy. Back to Austin. Lindley inside, off the mark. Austin there for the backup. 32 seconds left.
Lindley is a junkyard dog. Freshman lefty inside, 31 in green.
Here's Duffy, even strength. And a turnover by Loyola. Warner out of the box. Yale's got a chance, unsettled. Warner pushing, feeds the wing. Shot is wide by Morrill. 10 seconds to go. Reeves to initiate on the far side. Here comes Reeves against Huggins. Reeves with time winding down. Stover makes the save. And we have reached the end of 3 quarters. Only 1 goal in that rain-soaked third. A goal by John Danagelis. Yale 15 minutes away from a trip to championship. Yale has had 5 different goal scorers, but Ben Reeves has had a hand in 5 of the 7 goals. Pat Spencer, 2 goals, 1 assist, but Loyola has not scored since the 7:58 mark of the second quarter, and the elements have been a variable in this contest.
If you're Yale, this is the moment that you've dreamed of for the last decade. The time is now. It's here. You can taste it. Stay with what you do. Finish this bad boy off. If you're Loyola, you've got too many guys on offense who haven't contributed. We need to hear from Aiden Olmstead, Lindley, and Jay Drapeau.
The constants have been missing for Loyola outside of Pat Spencer. Winner to championship weekend. Warner tornadoes past Mintzlaff.
Tyler's played a strong game in his return to Strong Island, Baldwin High School right up the road, Anish.
He is a senior ecology and evolutionary biology major.
Tough as nails. He's one of the reasons some of those stars like Drapeau have been non-existent. They've been guarding Drapeau, the leading scorer, over 40 goals with the short stick Warner. Gives them availability to have another pole out there, and it's been one of the MVPs of this game.
Yeah, no question. He's played well. Jack Starr, the freshman goalie, has been an unsung hero, and if not for the brilliance of Jacob Stover, Yale might be sitting on a bigger lead right now. Greyhounds have been on defense for the majority of this second half. Here comes Jack Ty. Yale taking its time, and now a shot clock. Sessa against Begley. Sessa changing directions. Danagelis, and denied again. Stover with his 13th save.
Terrific action there. Sessa breaking ankles, loses his man in the wash. Stover's locked and loaded today.
Quint, you'd be proud of Stover. I'm watching this from field level. When the Yale guys plant their feet and rip, there's not a lot of net to look at there. He's covering his angles. He's been playing unbelievable today.
Not guessing, finding the ball in the pocket of the shooter before it's released, off the lip, in the air, into my cross.
A scoring drought north of 25 minutes for Loyola. P.J. Brown. The winner of this game gets Denver or Albany, the second of our two quarterfinals here in Hempstead. Tomorrow in Annapolis, Johns Hopkins Duke and Cornell against Maryland. Shot is wide by Olmstead, and Chris Fake beats Spencer to the sideline. Yale ball.
Loyola's offense, a great passing offense. They rank 6th in assists per game. Their problem today, Anish, has been they can't win any of the dodging matchups other than Spencer. So they've drawn very few double teams, and Yale's been very buttoned up behind it.
Kark, we were all in New York City a few weeks ago for the Ivy League tournament, and when we saw Yale in person for the first time against Penn in the semifinal, it's Gaudet will play it behind. Now, this was a team that aces the eye test.
Oh, yeah. Get off the bus. 6 athletes in Major League Lacrosse, drafted, most in the country. When they play hungry and they are hunting and they have that chip on their shoulder, like that game, like against Albany, they look like the most complete team in college lacrosse and unstoppable. And then we saw them 2 days later against Cornell, and different.
14 saves by Stover.
Nice job by Gaudet, 44 in white, to get in the goalie's face after the save to deny the long outlet.
Now Stover's outlet pass intercepted by Yale and Keating. And Loyola gives it right back. For this Yale team, anything short of a championship weekend appearance would be a disappointment. This is the best team they've had since that John Reese-led 1990 team.
It's been building. Today is the day where your internal goals collide with the external expectations. It's that day, that magical day as an athlete where you say, hey, everything we've been working for is right here. And they've handled it well. They've stayed true to their identity. They've been aggressive.
Andy Shea told us beginning 2010, which was the genesis of this Yale Renaissance, a decision was made within the program to stop worrying about the opponent. And sometimes that's to the detriment. We saw it in the Cornell game where Yale chose not to shut off Jeff Teague.
Good point.
But the idea was focus on the team, focus on what you have and getting better as we get a shot clock.
That's very hard to do because as a coach, you want to scheme and game plan each and every week. And you know how tempting it is to potentially shut off a guy like Jeff Teague when you've seen it successful in weeks past? But no, they stay to their identity.
There's Ben Reeves and another save by Stover. Stover has done his part with 15 saves. He stood on his head on this rain-soaked field.
Here's this ride.
That Valkyrian ride by Yale. Another ground ball. Fake has it, the freshman. Up ahead, Danagelis. Now Reeves. And Yale will slow it down and slam on the brakes. Now they hit the gas. Reeves. Gaudet. Another save. Stover. Begley withstands the contact.
He needs help.
Stover has tied a career high with 16 saves. Hercules in goal.
Yeah, watch Gaudet drop down low. Doesn't change the plane. And well taught, Jacob Stover matches up low to low. Snuffs it out. He is done. He's looking over at his bench. Hey, come on, guys. You gotta help. Help me out now, please.
Olmstead. That was one of the better looks Loyola has had in this second half. Yale's defense has put the shackles on a Greyhound offense that averages more than 13 goals a game. Brown, deflected.
And there's the effort and the hustle in East.
Chris Keating, the senior, coming back from an injury that robbed him of last season. Third-round pick in the MLL draft.
I asked Coach Shea when we were meeting with him a couple weeks ago, Coach, what happened against Bucknell in your loss midweek game? He says, we didn't hustle, we didn't make the effort plays. He goes, we chart how many guys dive for shots. I'm like, really? We chart that? It's like, yeah. So you watch Yale play, they routinely dive for shots. In every film session, they clip 4 or 5 effort plays to show the guys. And they practice with great effort as well. I got to tell you, I haven't seen them in person in late March. Watching them practice, tremendous intensity and fire that they bring to just an everyday session.
Defensively, Loyola has been shut out now for more than 30 minutes, a half of lacrosse. Here comes Sessa. Quinty, you get the feeling if Yale scores next, that's the ball game.
Absolutely, Loyola would have to chase.
Gaudet inside, nothing there. He was pushed into the crease. Stover gets back into the cage.
You know, you guys mentioned 1990, the last time Yale's been in championship weekend. I'm right next to this team, and you sense the urgency and how close.
Sessa, another save by Stover.
Oh, wow. Gigantic hit. Wow.
Matt Gaudet, the Canadian, going down. Here's the ride by Morrill. And look at the Yale sideline, bouncing with emotion.
Think they can taste it? They can taste it, gentlemen.
Andy Shea has never been to championship weekend. As a head coach, as an assistant, he's got a 3-goal lead with 6:40 to go.
The NCAA Men's Lacrosse Championships is brought to you by Just Crack an Egg. Breakfast is hot again, and it wants you back. Coppertone. Coppertone Sport is proven to protect. and the all-new, totally remixed Volkswagen Jetta.
Ticket information for championship weekend can be found on ncaa.com/lacrosse. Handsome Dan gets a field pass. That's a wet dog. And if Yale can take this 3-goal lead to the finish line, I'll tell you what, a wet dog never smelled so good for Andy Shea, who, by the way, told us that Handsome Dan, hands down, the best athlete on that Yale sideline. He was bouncing up yesterday as a Bulldog.
I love live mascots, and he may be my favorite right now as you take a look at the brackets coming up after this game. Albany and Denver. Run and gun Dane Train. Got to go head-to-head with the Pioneers under Coach Bill Tierney. He's got 7 rings and a lot of history.
Scott Marr's teams have gone to the quarterfinals in 3 of the last 4 years, but have not made it past the quarterfinal round. In 1990, Yale played Loyola in a national semifinal. Similar conditions. Loyola won in overtime. That was the last time Yale made it to championship weekend. Sterling goalie play for Loyola and Jacob Stover, but the Greyhound offense has disappeared. Let's see if we get a shot clock on Yale soon. Less than 6 minutes to play. There it is. This defense has to be tired right now. Sessa, the bouncer. Guess who? Jacob Stover.
Stover looks deep, but there's nothing doing. Off that turnover, Yale retreats. There's no transition. That has been a signature of Loyola all season. Today they have not scored a single transition. That is fast break style goal.
They've had 7 failed clears. Hard to get transition when you can't clear the ball. That is where Yale makes up so many possessions. You couple that with the advantage they usually have at the faceoff X. Add in the offensive talent, you can now get a sense of why some of these scores are what they are when Yale is involved.
At what stage does Pat Spencer say, well, I got to take this game over now, I'm sorry?
Right now. 33-minute scoreless drought for Loyola. Brown. Ball on the ground. Drapeau, scoreless today. 41 goals on the season for Jay Drapeau. A terrific high school hockey player. Had interest from a number of schools for hockey, chose lacrosse at Loyola.
Spencer's got a matchup now with Danagelis if he can get free.
Stay right foot, right foot.
Drapeau, inside roll, nothing there. Back up top, Duffy. Bounce shot, the score! John Duffy ends the scoring drought, and with 4:15 to go, Loyola still in this, down 2.
So much attention on Pat Spencer being shut off behind. It allows Loyola to go 5-on-5. Yale's out of their base defense, which they rarely do. They love to stay in base. They don't run gimmicks. They don't shut guys off. So the diagonal pass is wide open, and then a change-up, old-school high bouncer off this wet turf.
The challenges of being a young goaltender, dealing with a wet surface, potential screen, Duffy on the run, doesn't come out clean. Next thing you know, gets a gigantic hop over your shoulder. Game on here, as Anish, you said.
Conditions in this second half have not helped the offenses. Only 2 goals in this entire half.
After we had 8 in the first quarter.
Rain continues to pelt the surface. Failed clear. Loyola has it. Lindley turned away by Starr. Alessi with the rebound.
Mark that one. Absolutely mark that one.
And Alessi, who's got 2 punt return touchdowns on the Yale football team, with a punt return clear as we come up on 3.5 to play. Oh, goaltending was a huge question mark for Yale. Maybe their Achilles heel. Jack started to play great against UMass last week. He's been terrific today.
Jack, you gotta get those hands. Hey, Higgs, you ready for that clamp? Clamp it, clamp it, clamp it, clamp it, clamp it, clamp it.
Morrill runs away from a double. Now Jack Ty from nearby Garden City, New York. Ty calling for it, gets it. Another shot clock against Yale. That seems to be the MO. We'll wait until we have to go, Quint. Inside, in the crease, flag down.
This is the most difficult call in the sport of lacrosse. You see the push right there. Player lands in the crease.
Penalty on Higgins. And now Yale with an extra man opportunity.
You could see Andy Shea talking with offensive coordinator Andy Stimmel.
What's more important here?
Time or generating quality?
The ball.
Yeah.
The ball's
absolutely.
the most important. You got 30 free seconds.
And there can be no shot clock during an extra man situation.
So then you figure another at least 45 seconds till the shot clock would come on. And then Loyola would need 2 goals in about a minute, maybe less. In these conditions, we've only had 2 goals in the second half.
And Connor Mackey.
That's right. Morrill. We're at even strength. Ty shooting wide. And how about the effort by Kotler? 1:46 to go in regulation.
Andy Shea, Yale coach, stalking the official.
Davliakos jarred it loose. It'll stay with Yale. Now if you're Charlie Toomey out on the field to call a timeout. 1:40 to go. You're Charlie Toomey. You're riding these officials to try to get a quick shot clock.
Well, now here's the deal. That was a great timeout because this ball comes inbounds in the absolute corner. That is the best area on the field to execute a double team. I would be shocked if Loyola doesn't double the ball carrier in the corner, bring their goalie out of the goal with 1:40 to go and try to get the turnover. This is just a perfect spot on the field to execute a double team.
Despite success in the Ivy League, NCAA tournament success this decade has eluded Yale. The past 3 years, the Bulldogs losing in the first round. 2013, Quint, that was a heartbreaker for Andy Shea in the quarterfinals. That was a game that Yale had a lead late. Jojo Marasco with late heroics for Syracuse to get the Orange into championship weekend. 2012, a first-round loss. But for this senior class, they've been building toward this. A couple of bad draws in the NCAA tournament. 140 away from not having to hear about 1990 for a long time.
Internally, it's always been about the race to improve. Every time we talk to Andy Shea, yeah, we just got to improve this week, improve this month. You think about the external validation of winning a quarterfinal and making championship weekend. These seniors would leave a legacy.
Kark, you were in the Yale huddle a moment ago.
They taste it. Quint, you liked where the ball is for them. But more importantly, I like the athletes they throw on the field here. Jason Alessi, yeah, they don't want him to score a goal, but he's one of the fastest guys on the field. He's also a defensive midfielder in the event that Loyola gets the ball. They have the right personnel on the field. Same with Tyler Warner. So you have 45 in white, 5 in white that can burn clock if they get the ball, and then they're back on defense.
Reeves beats the double team on the empty net. Reeves gets it back, shoots and scores! The dagger, Ben Reeves!
Game on the line. You know the double team's coming. Who handles? Who do you think handles? Ben Reeves. Sprints past the double like they're standing still. Misses the empty net. But the follow-up? Stamp your ticket to Gillette. Yale's going dancing.
Can Handsome Dan have clam chowder?
He's an English bulldog. He'll eat anything you put in front of his snout. I love that dog. 51 pounds, 2 years old.
Best bulldog mascot in college athletics.
Nicknamed Walter. They don't call him Dan. They call him Walter.
After Walter Camp.
The Georgia people are saying, what about Uga? Don't at me. Handsome Dan.
Not the drooler that Uga is.
A flag coming against Yale. 1:13 to go.
This is possible to tie this game, Anish, okay? You need a quick extra man goal. And you need some Fogo success.
Mike Orafice had 2 goals last week off the face-off X, but
Wait there. 1-1, push, 30 seconds. Wait.
Orafice has been neutralized completely by Connor Mackey as we get a penalty on Keating.
Yeah, Yale's got some big athletic defenders.
Yale 0 for on the man up today. 0 for 7 last week in the win against Virginia. Spencer. Trey Powell, side of the net. Starr picks it. And now Alessi will try to get away from the Greyhounds. .45 seconds. Up ahead on a bounce to Morrill. Double teamed. Andy Shea gets his timeout. 41 seconds. And Yale on the brink of championship weekend. Time for the Capital One player of the game. Well, this is a no-brainer. A 3-time Tewaaraton finalist. Back-to-back Ivy League Player of the Year honors. Ben Reeves, 3 and 3. Rain, snow, sleet, hail, weather conditions did not bother this conqueror from Macedon, New York.
If you're a young fan watching this game and you want to be Ben Reeves, the first thing you got to do is your homework, and you got to do it well. You get A's, you can go to Yale. Then you can work on your game the way he has. Taking speed and adding all sorts of elements to it through his career here. The vision, the leadership, the poise, the timeliness to deliver, Paul, at the exact moment.
So Macedon, New York, outside of Rochester. This is a nice spring day for the kid, too. He's got the brains, he's got the toughness. So impressed with the story of Ben Reeves, and you mentioned the academics. Take into account that no one really wanted this kid, and he defied all the odds in regards to that recruiting issues and the rankings of where he stands projection-wise in college lacrosse. Well, guess what? We have 2 of the great players of all time at the position on the field today, and Ben Reeves is going to Gillette.
On the back of those Yale helmets, a Latin inscription, Lux et Veritas, light and truth. The truth is, the light is back on this Yale program, and they'll have the biggest stage that they've had in almost 30 years. The field at Gillette Stadium, with all the lacrosse world watching. The Yale Bulldogs are headed to championship weekend for the first time since 1990.
Coach, your defense held them to 1 goal in the second half. They one of the best players in college lacrosse, and Pat Spencer, how'd you do it?
I think it's a tough day to shoot. We stalled out after the first quarter a little bit, but guys just stuck to their fundamentals, and we got a great job in the cage, and guys played hard.
You talk about the toughness of this team all the time.
Yep.
Describe what it's really like.
They're an impressive group. They fought through this, and is a very tough competitor, and they gutted it out, man. It was all grit to win this game.
You and I talk a lot. You downplay going back to championship weekend. Don't lie to me. How does this feel?
I don't even know yet. We're excited to be here for another week, and feels pretty good.
Get dry. Congrats.
All right, thank you.
He cracked a smile. We saw it. What a birthday present